Hi everybody, the Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Basics Trucking, an American Truck Simulator. Glad to be back here again, and even more excited to see that we've got something unexpected. So I'm here in the external market versus the cargo market, which means this is a world of trucks load that I can take from Cheyenne into Kansas. So we are going to get ourselves into Kansas. It's going to be a little bit of a longer run than normal, but I think it's going to satisfy a couple things. You know, it's going to be able to qualify for the event, I think, and so forth, and quite excited to see this. So this is the one I'm planning on grabbing. Alright, so the cargo is ready. Proceed to the loading ramp. So I actually get to load up right here. So that actually is even more helpful. And in a city like Cheyenne, where we have all kinds of activity, I think I can just pull in. Just getting more and more exciting news as I go along. Alright, I think I went a little too far. There we go. Take a peek outside. Alright, we're going to load the cargo. So again, just a little bit under an hour to get ourselves going. So I'm not sure if I had this cold or whatever, whatever I have. I think it's more than a cold, because I eventually took an antibiotic to really see some improvement after 10 days of not. I'm on the road to recovery, I believe, knock on wood. But there's probably going to be a few more breaks here and there where I have to edit things out based on coughing or whatever. So apologize ahead of time in case I miss something. But with this, we are on our way. And so let me shrink this down. I don't know that we can see our trip meter here on this truck. I don't recall that. It's 368 miles. So I did zero it out. Turn off the map behind to not create confusion.
Keep right, and then go straight.
Alright, if I do that, we can see the trip meter there.
Go straight.
But obviously there's less things on.
Keep left, and then turn left.
I'm thinking I just missed that.
Turn left. Recomputing.
Alright, let me turn around.
Keep right.
She is being very delayed today. I was worried about the closeness of those intersections.
Turn right.
Hopefully we can not hit that truck. So it was a little shame on me, but it shouldn't require me to be slothy to work properly. So I would say that's a bit of an issue with American Truck Simulator. I don't think anybody's ever going to see this and know and probably even agree. So, alright. So I'm assuming we're going to get on the highway here.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Alright, so we're going to get on I-80, heading west
Turn right.
to Rock Springs, which seems the wrong way, but maybe we're then immediately turning onto something else, because if I recall the image on the map, we were heading south, obviously kind of making that corner, going down south into Colorado, and then heading east over into Kansas. But we are on our way, 6 miles in. We'll set ourselves to our top speed of 65. Now that we're on interstate, I'm assuming I'll go right here, but I'm not sure.
Keep right. And then exit right. Exit right.
Alright. So here we go. Alright. Jim Palmer Trucking. Don't know that I'm familiar with that one, so I'm assuming it's real, but don't know. Might be a smaller outfit. Oh, it must have been like a lane thing. I'm like, I don't think there's anyone by me. Alright, as long as we don't have to then switch on here, we'll be in great shape. So there are those barriers. I talked about it last episode. If you're unfamiliar with those out west, they bring those down when they have to close the interstate, usually due to snow. So out here, that's reality. I think it happens several times a year, typically. It's not uncommon. Obviously, they do what they can to, reopen things as quickly as possible because they understand the importance, but for safety and for people not getting stuck out here for hours or even days at a time out in essence, the wilderness, they kind of force people off on exits, and then, people know, hey, it's bad enough. So I've encountered that a couple times when I've been out there myself. It definitely kind of throws a wrinkle in things, but you do learn to kind of keep an eye on the traffic radio and make sure you know what's happening, because you can see there the barrier, like the exit is before the barrier. So if suddenly it's blocked, it's not like you're stuck right there. You can exit. Alright, so we're at 43 miles. I got a little messed up. I thought the one below was the mileage, but that's the time. And again, since it's game time, yeah, we're coming up on an hour. So that's now where I'm finally kind of starting to understand what I'm seeing. So it's interesting. There's just like a parking location there, but not really a rest area. All right, so we're down in Colorado. Now again, Cheyenne is on the southern portion of Wyoming, so we know we've gone 55, 56 miles. I don't know that I have to get to Denver, but that may be where the transition occurs to then head over. So we might have 80 some miles to go and then head over. We might have to go further, I don't know. Or it might take us a totally different way, but it seemed pretty much like a straight 90-degree trip here, is what the GPS had thrown out for us. Now, with the World of Trucks jobs, they do have to be done in real time, so I had 13 hours to do this. Now I picked it up and immediately began. So I'm not going to have any issue, but if you do that and you're unfamiliar with the process a little bit, now I'm hoping it's not suddenly going to have me go there. Of course, I'll probably have to pull off now and get weighed, but we'll see. No, we're able to bypass.
Keep left.
I was explaining the World of Trucks jobs before I got so rudely interrupted with having to pay attention to my driving, because I was obviously catching the truck and the adaptable cruise was slowing me down, and now I don't need to be over here, so I'm just the slow poke in the left lane. So let's get back over to the right lane. But if you're unfamiliar with that, they're kind of real-time jobs, so people sometimes get into trouble where they take them and then are like, oh, I see a job I like, I'll grab it, and then I'll run it this evening when I get back home from work, only to find that it's expired on them. So just keep an eye out. And I haven't heard like anybody report that. I think people figure that out. And it's semi-clear, but I'm kind of being a little bit devil's advocate there, assuming that maybe it wasn't easily understandable. but it may be. I'm wondering, I see storm clouds gathering. We might have our first daytime lightning storm, which with the new weather effects in ATS and 1.49, we haven't seen any of that during the day yet. But we'll probably get past it because, you know, there's blue sky there, and then we're also heading off toward the left, so... Although, no, we're already on 25, so... Well, wait, we're headed south. Never mind. North-south are odd, so that was what was confusing me. So yes, we're going in the right direction. We'll then be heading basically to the left, because again, I could finally be going south now where I was a little bit over, but the numbering system in the US, the odd numbers are predominantly north-south travel, just as the evens are predominantly east-west travel. So, for example, 76 that we're crossing here is going to go east-west across the state. Oh, of course. I love that. I don't know how that got turned off. Since it's in my own truck, I would think I had it on, but somehow it cycled off. And it's 8 p.m. Sometimes you get hit with that at 7 p.m. I think you've got to be near a police officer to see you, so I probably just passed one somewhere that I didn't realize or whatever.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Okay, so now we're already here.
Exit right.
Alright, and I assume we're going to want to go to Le Mans.
Keep left.
Yep, okay. Again, very slow responses here, so I'm not enjoying how timely the GPS is. So, it's, you know, and again, one could argue I should be able to navigate on my own. I've talked about that, like having a series where I just don't use the GPS at all and go like old school trucking. You know, I just have to route myself and see how much of a disaster that becomes. I mean, that would definitely take me back to my childhood and early adulthood when you had to actually, when you took a road trip, part of planning for that was sitting down with an atlas and plotting out your route, sometimes highlighting it across the multiple pages if you were going many states over. So those days are long gone. I'm sure there's many people, maybe everybody who's watching this video who's like, how did you do it? Like they can't even put together in their head what I'm talking about. Alright, so we are still in Colorado, so just like that, you know, road working crew and whatever, that's... So here's Denver International Airport. So yeah, we were clearly making the transition around Denver. I've delivered here before at other times, but obviously other series, so, but it is a large facility, so it's actually pretty cool. But today is not one of those days. Right now this series is not one of those series. I'm pretty sure it might have been during the Coast to Coast or something that I had before this that may have happened. Apologize, I'm getting distracted by something here in the room that I need to attend to. It's done now, so I should hopefully not drift off the road again or drive unsafely, but luckily no one was around. Looks like, yeah, this is going to be a nighttime delivery, which is a little disappointing because we're going to be heading into Kansas in the dark. I wonder if I can rest, because actually I do need to rest, so maybe next rest area we'll pull over. And I should be okay because, again, with the world of trucks, I just have to deliver in that real time. So there's nothing that in-game is telling me I need a couple hours. So I think that'll be my plan, is as soon as I see an opportunity here to pull over, I will do so. And then that will change that dynamic and we won't be in the dark anymore. But pretty calm travel down the road here, as one would expect. I'm sure as a trucker, this is exactly what you hope for. Just light traffic, Nice starry sky starting to come out. Again, I think that was part of the 1.49 update, make the night sky a little bit more vibrant. Oh, he's green. I'm like, why is that thing looking so green from my light? But that's because he is green. But otherwise they look kind of gray far away, you know, in the nighttime, so suddenly this splash of color out my window was just confusing me. So obviously I'm still getting used to the new features, because I'm assuming that's some of the lighting changes that they did. Like, I can see that car was red, but it's like way more red once it gets into the headlights. Okay, well, we've got a spot that I can pull into over there. Let's just see how inconvenient it is. It's not too bad, so I think we're going to stop here. Experience a Colorado truck stop.
Keep right, and then exit right.
And then we'll be moving along in the day. So.
Exit right.
Alright. I thought I was hitting the brake and it was just flying to the floor. I'm like, what is happening? But then I realized somehow my mental map of where my foot was, I was pressing the gas pedal.
Go straight.
So thank goodness, because I'm like, oh no, did the calibration mess up? Now I have no brakes? Like, it was just a moment of panic for a second. Alright, well, the GPS is going to get a little upset with us for a while here, but that's okay.
A new route.
But this is clearly literally just a space to get off and rest. And if necessary, repair, which I probably do want to do at some point. Maybe this is the point. I mean, I'm here. Why not take advantage of it? Because one of the things we discovered is there's this new maintenance model. So we don't want to let our truck get in too bad of a shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, given I'm not under any real time constraints.
Get
so
ready to turn
hopefully
right.
you'll bear with me there and not be frustrated that I'm adding all this extra stuff. Not that this should be too terribly long, but we'll see. Looks like I have enough room to turn around. Alright, so if I go to service, now we get this truck damage report. And so, yeah, we're actually in pretty good shape here. So if we repair everything, there's no trailer damage, but a little bit of engine wear, and I think that's like transmission and so forth. So we'll go ahead and confirm that. It's interesting that we have 1%. Oh, I guess we're doing a little bit on the tires, on the trailer, and also on the truck. Alright. So now I am down, you know, and there's some of this repair, as you can see, kind of the wear here. I can't, it's saying, you know, 1% is fixed by a part replacement. So this is damage I can't repair, and so that's what ends up happening, is that eventually you have got to go ahead and replace components, or replace the, like, do a whole rebuild, which is going to get incredibly expensive. Oh, okay, well, there we go. I saw a rest possibility, so we'll just rest right here. I mean, I'm sleeping in my truck one way or the other. It's not like I'm getting out and walking to a room or something. I mean, sure, you know, I had to get up and run to the, across the road there to run to the restroom and all that, but that's all right. It's a little bit easier out here, where otherwise all that truck parking there is in the back. You know, the only difference is we didn't discover the truck stop, but we discovered the service center. So that's all right. Again, I slightly tempted to turn in and can't get the little discovery, but hey, this is not likely to become a 100% series, so I'm not gonna waste more time that way. Not that I wasted any time. I mean, obviously we needed to do the service, but and we needed to rest, so we've done all those. Still have. I just realized I just checked my fuel kind of in a panic. I'm like, well, wait a minute, maybe I need gas. But I don't. So we're okay. So we're at 235. So we only have about 100 miles. So I'm thinking we're going to deliver before lunchtime and
Turn left.
before, more importantly, before our loan payment is due. So that means we'll have some income here. But we're on the road again and should be entering into Kansas in no time. All right, look at this. We don't have to weigh again.
Keep left.
I'm guessing there's still going to be a third weigh station. I don't know that there's ever been... I don't know. I'm sure it's happened. I mean, I've driven probably hundreds of legs at this point in Truck Simulator across the two platforms. And obviously in Europe they don't have weigh stations, so I guess that's unfair. But even in American Truck Simulator, I'm probably coming on a couple hundred at least. I don't know. That I've never kept track of. I know I could tell you how many hours because Steam keeps track of that for me. But, you know, so I think I've got like 800-900 hours in American Truck Simulator. But in that time, I don't know that I've ever had a leg that I've entirely bypassed the weigh stations. So I'm assuming once we cross the Kansas border, that's kind of typical in most states, is they have a welcome station and a weigh station pretty quickly. Not together, but that those facilities seem to be nearby. So we may just get hit once we enter Kansas. So yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, the sad thing is from the editing standpoint, typically I can just go place the chapter markers and not have to listen too much once I'm driving. Uh-oh. Got something going on here. Again, we've got detours and random events set to the default level in the game here at this point. So stuff like this... Ooh, it looks like he lost some pipes, but just a little bit of a challenge. Stuff like this will appear more often than it has in any series I've ever done on the channel before for that reason, which is fine. That was part of what I figured I'd do, is kind of going back more to the roots, you know, back to basics of kind of how the game is set up by SCS and meant to run. So... But, yeah, we'll see how it goes, because in theory we've got like 70 miles, and it didn't look like we were going to go that far into Kansas. It was the first town in that we were stopping at, which is great, because now if I get lucky enough to do loads, and the thing is I'd have to get lucky enough to be able to do loads within, like, external market. I'm probably going to be, hopefully, able to find them with the regular game, but... those don't count to the World of Trucks event. And there's nothing really specific. Sometimes, you know, there were paint jobs, there were other things. But I'm kind of at the point now, you know, I'm not doing that in this series. There was a really cool paint job when I started with Colorado with like a bighorn sheep that I did win, which I really, really enjoy. And in Wyoming, I think had one with a buffalo. So it's usually on my single-player series, I think my trucks are set up with those. It's not that I can't do that here, I just haven't spent the money. So, you know, and I'm trying to recall, I'm talking about loan payments, I'm wondering if I'm thinking about just the real economy trucking in the Euro Truck Simulator, where I've got the loan that's going to take me 2,000 days to pay off or whatever. I don't think I had a loan here because this is just kind of the traditional game, and so you kind of get a little bit heavier payment. So, I don't know. But either way, we should be there before lunch. Burlington. This has got to be... Are we already in Kansas? I see sunflowers on the side of the road. I'm thinking we crossed the border and we missed the sign. Or I missed the sign. Maybe you saw it. So I apologize for all of the excitement that should have been generated, like, hey, we're in new DLC land. And it didn't happen because we're like 20 miles away. So I think we did cross over and I didn't realize it. So this is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the new DLC. So nice little rolling field. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I doubt we're going to be able to pass this one. Oh my goodness. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm exiting, and like next exit that comes up. Oh, here, leaving Colorado. So we might still have another one in, oh no, this is the one in Kansas. But we don't have to go. How nice is that? Why is it slowing down? Oh, I see, because it is smarter than I am. Why are we all stopped? Is Kansas a problem for driving? I hope we're not stopped. That would be really sad. Because then that would be a glitch, because usually it's not that bad, but... And I'm wondering, is this some sort of newfangled traffic feature that only exists in Kansas, where we suddenly have traffic jams? I mean, it's kind of cool, because this is not something that has happened in American Truck Simulator before, or Euro Truck. I mean, but literally, since I've got adaptive cruise, I'm going to go ahead and let it go. But yeah, we're moving at 47 miles an hour. So this is very abnormal in the game. I mean, this is actually fascinating if they put this in, because this is great. That you can have random snarls and tie-ups in this. You know, now we're speeding up again, which is also typical. You know, if we start having this, I can get into this whole discussion about traffic. I read a whole book on it at one point, and there is a science behind it and how it works. But yeah, one of the simple points of it is, like, we don't know why that just happened. Like, there's not an accident on the side of the road. We just suddenly had a lot of cars and we had to slow down. So, and there we go. There's our delivery point. So we didn't miss the sign.
Keep right.
I told you you were in Kansas and this was the DLC, and I was wrong. So ignore what you were looking at and saying ooh and ah,
right.
and reserve it for now, maybe? Alright, Colby. I hope that we'll get credit for...
Right.
It's Sunflower Square. I wonder if that's really what that's called, or is that just because it's the Sunflower State that they've added that particular thing in here? There we go. I was like, because if I don't get Colby discovered, it's going to be fun to find a load next time.
Go straight.
Alright, some wind farms.
Go straight.
We're going to be pretty close, or right in the middle of it. Interesting that they're... I did not know they're like State Route 25 that were on there. I think sunflowers. So that's kind of cool.
Get ready to turn right.
The trees are peeling away one at a time in the little mirror. You can reverse it and go back. The right mirror that I can see over my hood is what I was looking at. They were like getting taken by aliens one at a time. I don't know how else to describe it. You can go back and enjoy that little bit of
you have arrived at
game video magic. Alright. So, where? Around the back. Now, if you are me, which way? I'm going to go forward, because I think that's too sharp of a turn to expect us to be able to make. So, I mean, not a un-unique look. Okay, there we go. So it looks like we made maybe the right call, especially because I'm assuming I can drive onto the dirt. So then, I mean, we'll see if there's some invisible wall, but it looks like map-wise it's there. So I think I'll be okay. On a little bit of a hill. And sometimes I would wonder with that if that was not created by the farmer and or the business to provide a windbreak. Because one of the things you'll run into out in the Great Plains here is blowing snow, and that can wreak havoc on a building like this. So in the middle of this flat land, if that's where most of the wind comes from, which again, I would venture to guess we're facing west, so I think that would be pretty common, because that's kind of how the weather moves across the U.S. is from west to east. So, we kind of watch storms like we are right now in the winter. We'll watch snowstorms marching across the U.S. for 2 or 3 days before they get to us here on the eastern part of the U.S. I am struggling. I don't want to keep having the loud beep in my and your ears, but I cannot for the life of me figure out if I'm not straight. See, I'm like, am I even close? Now I'm straight. Okay. Gotta get used to that view, I guess. But the wind would come from there, and what ends up happening is even with an inch or a half an inch of snow, this entire building could be buried under 20 feet of snow. And you're like, how does that happen? Well, the way that happens is that snow all blows, and I'm waiting and intentionally not stopping to finish the story. That snow will all blow from, if there's nothing to stop it, from dozens to hundreds of miles away. And if this building behind me is the first thing that is more than a few feet high off the ground, it'll pile up against that. So they may have put that berm in to have the pile happen there and get 3-4 feet of snow there and stop things a little bit, and then the only snow that blows against their building is what makes it over the berm and the little bit that happens to fall in this parking area. But I've actually worked in facilities in Nebraska where we have gotten 1 inch of snow and we had to close the plant because literally we had 20 feet of snow covering the building and no one could get in or out. So it's a phenomenon that happens out here. I don't know if there's anything similar in Europe from a weather pattern standpoint, but there you go. So stop the trailer and unload, and there we go. So let's see, what have we got? A decent amount of progress, because that was a pretty long run. We actually got 1,000 XP exactly, so pretty neat. But so you can see I've got 162 World of Trucks contracts completed. It's not like I haven't done them before, but see, I got 1 of 14 in Cruising Kansas. So I don't remember how long this event goes. So it runs till the 5th of February. So that is still a couple weeks from now. So if I get enough loads, and if I really focus, because normally sometimes I am only running this sim once a week, but I may make a concerted effort to get a few episodes in the can, especially if I start seeing that I can take loads. But my challenge is I have to find loads that I can take with my trailer configuration, or I have to make the conscious decision to leave my trailer somewhere and then ultimately come back and get it, which is a bit of a problem. And so I'm not sure, because I could easily then do the Cruising Kansas event, I think, but that would give us probably 13 episodes. That would take us months and months to get through, but and we wouldn't really be doing what we were intending to do with our hazmat function. So I'm not sure. Give me feedback. This video should be going up tomorrow morning, so if I run, I'll probably just wait to see if anybody gives me feedback over the weekend or something, and if I don't hear anything and I decide to go that route, I may do that. and run around, but I'm leaning more toward just stick with what we've got instead of diverting. You know, I didn't do the Winterland, the Christmas event. I didn't do those other things because in a series like this, it just turns into then we're watching them for 4 months for an event that was 2 weeks long. And it really diverts from the direction and the storyline that we've had going on. So I'm thinking if I can do it while continuing to haul hazmat in my trailer, wonderful. But if I can't, and I think it would be hard to do the entire thing that way, I might get a load or two here, but it would be unlikely that all 14 cities in Kansas need something that I can haul in the particular trailer I have. But with that, we're going to wrap this up. If you've enjoyed this and you haven't dropped a like to help with the YouTube algorithm, help the channel spread, I'd appreciate it if you'd consider liking the video. And if you are not a subscriber, please consider that as well. A bigger subscriber base just helps with the community, helps with chatter and information. We've got a Discord server that's growing a little bit. Not a lot of activity yet, but we're coming up on about 50 people that are Discord members, so it's not a small group. So maybe you'd be the one to join and start asking questions and start talking. That brings that server to life and gets some chatter going with people. Because I think, you know, with 50 people, we should have enough folks that once someone asks a question or starts a conversation, that maybe it goes somewhere. With that, I will see you next time.